Welcome to Little English Studio, where great stories are told in great English. William Henry Gates III was born on October 28, 1955, in Seattle, Washington, a city still decades away from becoming a technology hub. He was the second of three children in a well-to-do family. His father, William H. Gates Sr., was a prominent lawyer. His mother, Mary Maxwell Gates, was a civic leader and member of several influential boards, including the United Way and First Interstate Bank. From the start, young Bill exhibited a sharp intellect and insatiable curiosity. His family encouraged reading, learning, and debate around the dinner table. Gates devoured books, biographies of great leaders, science fiction tales, and volumes of math problems. By the age of 8, it was clear that Bill had an exceptional memory and an unusual ability to focus intensely on topics that fascinated him. But like many gifted children, he was restless in traditional classrooms. He often grew bored with routine work, preferring to solve complex puzzles or read encyclopedias cover to cover. This thirst for mental challenge would soon find its perfect outlet, the computer. In 1968, Gates enrolled at Lakeside School, an exclusive private preparatory school in Seattle. It was here, almost by chance, that he encountered the machine that would change his life, a teletype terminal connected to a General Electric mainframe. Lakeside's Mothers Club had raised money to buy computer time for students, and Gates quickly became obsessed. Alongside his equally curious friend Paul Allen, Gates spent every spare moment experimenting with code. The terminal used BASIC, a beginner-friendly programming language, and the two friends taught themselves to write programs, simple games at first, then more complex tools. The pair, along with a few other classmates, formed the Lakeside Programmers Club, bartering their skills for additional computer time. They were mischievous but brilliant, once exploiting a bug in the system to obtain free hours of usage, then confessing and offering to help fix the problem. By the time he was 17, Gates had already co-founded his first venture, Trafodata, with Paul Allen. The company created a system to analyze traffic data for local governments. While the business was only modestly successful, it provided Gates with real-world experience in software development and entrepreneurship, and an early taste of the potential of the emerging digital world. In 1973, Gates enrolled at Harvard University. On paper, he was following a traditional path toward a prestigious career, perhaps in law, like his father. But at Harvard, his passion for programming intensified. He often skipped lectures to work in the computer lab, tackling problems that others considered impossibly complex. It was during this time that Paul Allen, who was working in Boston, showed Gates a magazine cover that would change everything, Popular Electronics, January 1975. The cover story featured the Altair 8800, a kit-based microcomputer that enthusiasts could build at home. To Gates and Allen, this was a revelation. They saw the future in that clunky metal box. If ordinary people could own computers, they would need software to make them useful. The two quickly contacted Micro-Instrumentation and Telemetry Systems, MITS, the makers of the Altair, claiming they had developed a basic interpreter for the machine, even though they had not yet written a single line of code. In a feverish 8-week sprint, they created the interpreter and successfully demonstrated it to MITS, who agreed to distribute it. It was the first product of what would soon become Microsoft. In 1975, Gates made the fateful decision to drop out of Harvard to pursue the new company full-time. It was a leap of faith. One that would reshape the global economy. Microsoft was founded in Albuquerque, New Mexico, with Gates as CEO and Allen as co-founder. The name, suggested by Allen, was a blend of microcomputer and software. Their mission was clear: to provide software for the rapidly growing microcomputer market. The young company quickly gained a reputation for delivering reliable, efficient code. Gates's perfectionism and business acumen were evident from the start. He reviewed every line of code personally, pushing for optimization and efficiency. Microsoft's early successes came through contracts to provide basic interpreters for different machines. But the real breakthrough came in 1980, when IBM, preparing to enter the personal computer market, approached Gates for an operating system. Microsoft didn't have one, but Gates struck a deal to acquire QDOS, Quick and Dirty Operating System, from a small Seattle firm, modified it, and licensed it to IBM as PC-DOS. Crucially, Gates negotiated to retain the rights to sell the system to other hardware manufacturers. That single decision would become one of the most profitable licensing arrangements in history. The IBM PC was released in 1981, and with it, Microsoft's DOS became the industry standard. As the PC market exploded, so did Microsoft's fortunes. But Gates understood that the command line interface of DOS was intimidating to average users. Inspired by developments at Xerox PARC and competition from Apple's graphical user interface, Microsoft began developing its own GUI-based system, Windows. The first version of Windows launched in 1985. It was not an immediate success. Critics saw it as slow and unpolished, but Microsoft persisted. By the release of Windows 3.0 in 1990, the software had matured into a robust, user-friendly platform, cementing Microsoft's dominance in the desktop market. Gates' strategy was relentless: bundle Microsoft software with as many machines as possible, ensure compatibility, and constantly iterate on features. His knack for anticipating market shifts and his willingness to outmaneuver competitors made Microsoft the most influential software company in the world. The 1990s were Microsoft's golden decade. Windows became the global standard for personal computing, and Microsoft Office, an integrated suite of productivity tools, became a fixture in workplaces and schools worldwide. Gates was now one of the richest men in history, his fortune tied to the rise of the information age. But Microsoft's dominance also brought scrutiny. The U.S. Department of Justice filed an antitrust case against the company in 1998, accusing it of using monopoly power to stifle competition, particularly in the web browser market. Gates's deposition in the trial revealed his fiercely competitive nature, but also highlighted the tension between innovation and market control. The case ultimately ended in a settlement, but it marked a turning point in Gates's public image, from tech wunderkind to corporate titan under fire. In 2000, Gates stepped down as CEO, handing the role to his longtime colleague Steve Ballmer. Gates remained as chairman and chief software architect, focusing on long-term technology strategy. This period saw Microsoft entering new arenas: gaming with the Xbox, online services with MSN, and enterprise solutions with server software. Gates also championed security, usability, and integration across Microsoft products. Yet, beyond the boardroom, Gates's focus began shifting. In 2000, he and his wife, Melinda, formally established the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, which would grow to become the largest private charitable foundation in the world. Its mission: to improve global health, expand educational opportunities, and reduce poverty. By 2008, Gates transitioned to a part-time role at Microsoft to devote most of his time to philanthropy. The Gates Foundation tackled ambitious goals: eradicating polio, combating malaria, improving sanitation, and supporting education reform in the United States. Gates applied the same analytical rigor he used in software to global problems, relying on data, measurable impact, and partnerships with governments, NGOs, and other philanthropists. His belief was simple but profound: innovation could change the world, not just in technology, but in health and development. As one of the most visible billionaires, Gates faced criticism, from conspiracy theories about his vaccination work to scrutiny over his immense wealth. The public's relationship with Gates was complex. Admiration for his achievements often coexisted with skepticism about his influence. Meanwhile, Gates became a leading voice on climate change, publishing How to Avoid a Climate Disaster in 2021, in which he outlined a practical roadmap for reaching net zero carbon emissions. When COVID-19 struck, Gates was thrust back into the public eye. Years earlier, he had warned in a TED Talk about the threat of a global pandemic. His foundation pledged billions to vaccine development and equitable distribution. Despite facing unfounded conspiracy attacks, Gates continued to advocate for science-based policy and international cooperation in health crises. Bill Gates's legacy is twofold: as the architect of the personal computer revolution and as a philanthropist reshaping global health. His story reflects the promise and challenges of extraordinary influence in a connected world. In the end, Bill Gates's life is a testament to the transformative power of curiosity, persistence, and vision. From the teletype terminal at Lakeside to global health initiatives, his journey offers lessons in innovation, responsibility, and adaptability. Bill Gates's vision helped shape the digital age, and his mission continues to seek a better, healthier, and more equal world. If you enjoyed this story, give it a like, share it with friends, and join us next time for another journey through history, culture, and the English language.